Right, so, welcome everyone. My name is Jory Houlihan. And if you are looking for Topic Tuesday, you are in the right place. We have moved things. Um, so, we have decided to move this to Wednesdays at noon Central Time. Um, we just did a little bit of a makeover on this. Uh, the reason for this is we wanted to have uh, more of a um, we wanted to have a more dedicated midweek time to talk about ADHD related things. And for me, Tuesdays was becoming quite overwhelming to say the least. So I decided I wanted to move it to another day. So we are here on Wednesdays as a result, and so that is why we're doing this now. All right, so I think I am live everywhere I am supposed to be. So uh, all right, so the idea behind ADHD Real Talk is to talk for a few minutes about something ADHD related for a few minutes. No fluff, just real talk about navigating life with ADHD. My name is Jory Houlihan. I'm your guide for the dopamine deprived, and I am going to be your tour guide on this lovely journey. All right, so today I want to talk about something that I covered in this week's podcast episode that I think hits home for almost every single one of us. That heavy feeling of why bother trying? It's not going to work anyway, right? Psychology calls this learned helplessness. But I today I want to talk about the antidote to this, or a possible antidote to this, which is self-awareness. So let's start with a reality check. How many times have you tried, say, a new planner or a new morning routine, a new organization system, right? Only to have it fall apart a day and a half later. And when it happens, what do you tell yourself, right? Usually it's stuff like, oh, I'm lazy. I'm not trying hard enough. I'm just broken. I hear that one a lot. So here's the truth I really want you to hear this today. If you are experiencing learned helplessness, it is not because you are lazy. And in fact, it is because your brain has learned based on real evidence, right? That your efforts don't produce the results you expect. So you tried the neurotypical systems, they didn't work. You tried harder, right? You tried even harder with those same systems and they still didn't work. So eventually, your brain logically concludes that you are not capable of that. And so why bother wasting your time? But the problem isn't your capability. Like it's not even close to that. The problem is you are operating with missing information. You are trying to run a Windows program on a Mac operating system and then getting angry with the computer. Ask me how I know this, right? So I want to zoom in on one specific way that this shows up, and that is consistency. So I talked about this in the episode. I have never been quote unquote good at consistency. So for years, I thought it was a character flaw, that I was broken, right? I just needed to try harder. But once I started using self awareness, which just means gathering data on how my specific brain works, right? I realized something huge. The problem wasn't that I couldn't do things. The problem for me was my all or nothing thinking. So here's what that cycle looked like. I try to do something every day. I miss one day. What do you think happens? My brain says, well, you broke the streak. It didn't work. Moving on. Sound familiar? Right? Because I missed one day, I would stop completely. I wasn't lacking discipline. I was lacking the flexibility to say, I can start again tomorrow. I felt like I had failed. So once I realized that my pattern was perfectionism and all or nothing thinking, I was able to then change the strategy. So I started building systems with flexibility baked into it. I gave myself permission to pick up the next day without the shame spiral that would usually come if I didn't follow through, right? And guess what started happening? I actually started following through, at least way more than I used to. I didn't need to try harder. I needed to understand that my brain treats a missed day as a total failure, and I needed to manually override that coding. All right. So, how do we fix this? How do we move from helpless to capable? We stop judging first and foremost. We start getting curious, right? That lens of curiosity. I want you to treat your life like a science experiment right now. If you are stuck right now, I want you to ask yourself a few questions and not with shame, okay? Curiosity. What is the specific friction point? Is it that you forgot? Is it that you are tired? Is it that there are too many steps? Or maybe you don't know what the next step is? Right? The next question, when do things actually work for me? Right? Stop looking at what you're bad at. We're really good at that part. But when things work for you, what is happening? When do you focus well? What environment are you in when things are going well and you can focus well? What is the data telling me? If a planner doesn't work for you because you have out of sight, out of mind, that is just data. It's just data. It means you need a system that is visual, like seeing the whole week or month at once. Okay. It doesn't mean you are broken. It just meant that planner didn't work for you. It doesn't mean you can't plan. It means you can't use that planner. All right. Self awareness is the bridge. I can't stress this enough. The difference between I'm broken and I just haven't found the right system yet is self awareness. All right. So that is your homework for the week. Ah, yes, you have homework. I want you to catch yourself when you say, I can't. And I want you to pause and ask, do I not have the ability or do I just not have the right strategy yet? If you want to dive deeper into this, specifically into even more ways that learned helplessness tends to show its beautiful head, please go and listen to the first episode of season 2 of the podcast. That is out now. And if you are sitting there thinking, "Ugh, Jory, I have been trying to figure this out alone for 20 years and I am tired." I get it more than you know. Doing this alone is really hard because you are trying to analyze your brain with the brain that is, struggling. And that is why I created my Clarity Plus Action Intensive. It is a one on one premium coaching program where we will identify your specific patterns, your strengths, your challenges, etc., and build a system that works for you, right? Not a generic one, something that works for you specifically, plus a whole lot more. So I will drop the link for that in the comments, or you can also go to my link in bio for that. Thank you so much for joining me for the first ADHD Real Talk on Wednesdays, formerly Topic Tuesday. I will see you, hopefully, next Wednesday at noon. And let me know in the comments, what are some things that you are now recognizing are learned helplessness? What are some things that you just sort of gave up on that you now know is related to your ADHD, but you didn't know when you were, before you got your diagnosis or before you started to learn about it? And let me know what are some of the things that you struggle with, but also let me know what are some things that you've been able to change since getting your diagnosis, right? Some of the things that you go, oh, now I know why I do this. I need to change this up. I would love to see what you have to say. So definitely let me know in the comments. All right, everybody. I will see you next Wednesday. Have an amazing day.